is the regional office of the Ministry of Tourism for the Western and Central region, and it covers the matters relating to tourism in the states of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Gujarat, and Chhattisgarh, and Daman and Diu, and Dadar and Nagar Haveli UTs. Um, the India Tourism Mumbai has been kind of organizing a series of talks and webinars during the lockdown period, primarily to engage with various sections of the tourism industry and general public. And this knowledge series webinar was primarily started to engage with the students of the tourism and hospitality industry, and also with the industry professionals, so as to help them gain insights into the new trends in the industry, and also to enhance their knowledge and explore new possibilities. We all know there is academically there are we have formal trainings, and the content and knowledge that we gain from the curriculum in the college and institute, and the skills that come uh, are 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 indispensable. However, there is a set of skills which enhances our personality, that is primarily the communication, presentation, and our level of confidence. And the important of these skills is the essential tool or a password for the tourism industry, because tourism industry is all about interacting with people, and the kind of there is touching one another's life at some point of other when we are working on this business. And so at some point of career, we are always communicating and uh, getting in touch with our clients, or be it our colleagues, or be it our I'm sorry, there is a network issue. Maybe I would have lost me for some time. And if you look at, for most of us, the glass ceiling that stands in the way of success is our own self-limiting beliefs. So we need to identify what is holding us back, and we need to determine the steps that are needed to take us forward. And when we take the steps and we identify the right things, then we kind of break the glass ceiling. And when you break the glass ceiling, it is just the blue sky, and the whole potential is with you. In today's webinar, the speaker, Dr. Kuku Kumar, brings us her expertise in training tourism industry's professionals. The
Okay, I think we have lost Venkat sir because some network issue, and as you know that Mumbai is raining like cat and dogs today. So we have lost him. So taking forward the session, I will invite Dr. Kuku Kumar to come up and take this platform.
Yes. Okay. Um, Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us today. I'm absolutely honored, and I'm sorry we've lost Mr. Venkatesh, but I'm sure he'll come back into the room. And you see, now today, I mean, as already he gave a slight introduction, that this is not one of those webinars where we are talking about some place, or we are talking about something tangible, some hotel. We are not talking about that, this. We are talking about something which is intangible, which we can't see, but it can be felt, especially in the service industry. It is very important, that we, because service is an intangible thing. Of course, you take take a person to the hotel, that is tangible. A good bus being used, that is tangible. But actually, is he's back, Mr. Venkatesh?
Yeah, Miss
Yes,
Kumar,
sir.
I'm back. It's been raining heavily here, and there is a network issue. So, dear viewers, before Miss Kumar starts, let me briefly introduce our speaker, Dr. Kuku Kumar. She's an entrepreneur running a successful IATA travel agency for more than 25 years. She has won many awards for the company and in her individual capacity, also in her individual capacity. She is an alumni of the Harvard and a doctorate in philosophy in tourism. And on the topic, her research was on accessible tourism in India, which is one of the upcoming and most important segments. And she is an educationist at heart. She's a motivational speaker for her friends and colleagues. She's a soft skills trainer and a certified life coach and a mentor. This seasoned professional, as a seasoned professional, she has been molding and shaping the future of the travel industry through her travel academy in Delhi since 2002. The academy has trained more than 11,000 students since its inception under the Skilled India mission and has won several awards from IATA, Associam, and FICCI. With this, I request Dr. Kuku Kumar to take over and tell us more about the unlocking our potential. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Katesh, for giving such a lovely introduction. I, have been in the tourism travel industry more than 30 years, and it is a part of me now. And so it's a very good feeling that you are kind of talking to people who are interested in tourism, and those who would learn something out of our experience, whatever that we learned. Now, today, you see, we are talking about, as I was trying to, I had just started, and, I would imagine that there are certain, maybe I can start with the slideshow and then we continue with that. Is that all right with you, Parul? Hello? Yeah. Okay. All right, let me start with this. Let me start with slide which says that, it's a very famous, book and author, which is Shiv Khera. He says, people are not different. They do things differently. Now, what do you understand by that? Everybody is same, you are same, I'm same, people. But we still do things differently. So basic, how does it affect that we are doing things differently? Now let's see what he says, and how it affects us in our life, how it impacts us in our life when we are doing things differently. All right. So next slide, please. How is it that we become different from others? Now, we are mainly going to touch on the topic of soft skills. It is the soft skills which make us, differentiate from the others, which means our personal behavior, how we adapt to that. Otherwise, next slide, please. Yeah. What exactly now are soft skills? Soft skills are personal attributes needed for success on the job. Ultimately, whenever we do any work, whether it is tourism, whether it is, travel, whether it is anything that we do in our lives. I'm, of course, going to take you through the tourism example, but what I'm saying is that, these kind of skills, when adopted, they will help in your lifetime, in any aspect of your life, whether it is your personal life, whether it is your work life, whether it is your personal life. Now, you can't say, this person has all these skills, because these are non-tangible. But how it helps us? Now, let's see, what exactly is soft skills? Soft skills are personal attributes needed for success on the job. Let's say there are 4 or 5 of them. I'll read them out to you. These will keep repeating again and again. Now, time management. As you can understand, it's very important. Now, we have a senior government officer with us. He's given a time of 5 o'clock. His time is valuable. So is yours, so is everybody's. But at the same time, if we don't manage our time, and if we don't manage it well, that's where we go wrong. So first attribute, let's say, is time management. All right. Now, the other we go to, let's say the second one is networking. What do we exactly mean networking? All of us are very shy. We don't like to meet people. We hesitate. We don't like to, oh, okay, I'm not in a mood, or I don't feel like, or I'm shy. Many of us are like that. We start our lives, when we begin our lives, it is like that. But ultimately, it is only by networking. And by networking means meeting people. We'll come into a little more detail of that later. But what means that meeting people, as you see, that in this slide shows. Next is another skill, which is, while we are working, the other very important skill is teamwork, where we all join together, and work as a team. No individual can work alone, or, it has to be a team effort. And it is a team effort which takes us, forward. Then the other skill could be creative thinking. Now, I will come to it later. We just, at the moment, we'll come to these slides again later. This will keep repeating. Creative thinking, I will explain to you later. And then conflict resolution. Conflict resolution, whatever that we do, whether it is in our life, whether in the office, whether, the conflict is with a customer, with the passenger, or within ourselves or our colleagues, it can be a conflict with anyone. So these are some of the soft skills which if we attain, we can have a better success on our job. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, how hard skills from soft skills? You are going to ask me, what is the difference between hard skills and soft skills? Now, you see, hard skills are something which, which are teachable abilities or skill sets that are easy to quantify. Mean that if you are learning something, like if I go to college, if I go a degree or a certificate, my typing speed, my machine operation, computer programming, these are hard skills which all of us can go to, any place and learn. These are just skills I'm taking, which are, we all are studying a degree, we all are studying for a certificate, we are all doing a ticketing program, we are doing a diploma. So that all of us can. But as against that, what are skills? Also known as people skills or interpersonal skills, which nobody actually can teach you. You have to acquire these skills and practice them. Now, what are those? Communication, flexibility, leadership, teamwork, time management. Like I told you, these will keep repeating again and again. All right. So next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now, let's say, now exactly in customer service job, all of you will agree that when we are talking about travel, tourism, hospitality, or general, when we are talking of our service industry, then, we are actually in a customer service. So our job is basically for a customer. Now, what are the top 10 skills in a customer service job which can make you, more adept or make you professional? Let's go through this. Clear communication. Jo bhi bole, we speak clearly, and, we are clear about what we say. Listening skills, very important. It will come again later. Then self-control means that you can't react immediately to whatever a customer is talking about. We will talk about this again. You need in a service, in a customer oriented jobs or in customer service, you'll have to have self-control because of many many situations which will arise, and so therefore you need to have a self-control. You can't react to everything. All right. Then the next one is a positive attitude, like which, all right, we in a negative attitude, like we all going through now, we are trying to remain positive just now. So a positive attitude in service industry or a customer service job is very, very important. And so we have to be careful of this. Now, assertiveness means that, you can't just leave things in between, okay, aise hoga, waise hoga. You have to be assertive. Now, if you're traveling with a group and the group is not following your time, and like if they are saying that you told them, okay, let's all get together this time, you are going out now, and after 2 hours I will meet you. If the group doesn't come back at that time, which means that the entire group itinerary and your time, is being, affected. So as a person, you have to be assertive at times, which is absolutely needed. So that is all one of the skills which you have to develop gradually. Then there is conflict resolution. Now, conflicts are going to arise in our service industry, are arising all the time. All right, all the time there is a conflict. That some, person didn't come, this happened, your bus didn't on time, and your driver is not, so those are the kind of conflicts, or the, you have a service provider, he has not given you good service. So then a conflict situation arises. Now, so you have to think how you will, resolve this conflict. Then we come to empathy. Empathy means that, आप अपने आप को, you are putting in that position, yourself, you are putting yourself in that position where the other person is. Supposing, let us say, that you have I'm using in terms of, our, let's say, tourism industry. If, there has been a problem, the person, he had to reach the airport, he had to take a flight, and your transport did not reach there, then what happens? Which means that, he is very upset. Now, instead of reacting to him, you have to think how you would feel if, if you were in the customer's place. So that is empathy. You have to understand in that person's situation. So that is called empathy. So that is one of the skill, which should develop, and should be a honest transmission to the customer. The honesty that you're feeling like that. These things will come again, like I told you. Then we have depersonalization, which means, which will also come later when I go to a little more detail, another slide. Depersonalization means, which means that anything that is coming towards you, don't take it personally, in the sense that, if you're in your boss in the morning has said something, you have to analyze it as a professional. Not, he is not trying to sort of say anything to you on a personal thing. So don't react personally. Don't take personally, just analyze it and see that, yes, whatever is being told to me, जो मुझे कहा जा रहा है, वो मेरे लिए नहीं है, लेकिन मैंने ऐसा काम किया, or I have done some work which is not right, which is not suiting the organization. So I have to work on that, and not think that I go home, keep thinking about it, and think. So don't take things personally. Now the next one is taking responsibility. Now, if there is some, first of all, if there's in any organization, if there is a some work done, so take the responsibility that, all right, I will do it, I am able to do it, and then do your job up to the point that it is, that you are responsible for it, that you are a responsible person, and you are going to do it. So wherever you can, take responsibility, and taking responsibility means that you have to take it to the end. It does, and also taking responsibility also means that if something has gone wrong, don't just shirk, from that. Don't say, मेरी गलती नहीं है, उसने या ऐसा हुआ, ये हुआ. Don't, try to, shift that kind of thing. Take the responsibility, okay, There is always team, there is always people, everybody will come to the rescue. If customer is unhappy, something gone wrong, everybody will, try to correct that situation. But if you take responsibility, say that, all right, say ye galti hua, I made this mistake, taking responsibility is a better way of learning for the future than to react. You understand? आपने react कर दिया, ये बहाना उसने कहा, मैंने किया, which is very, very common in any work situation. So please take responsibility to do work. If it has not been done, then don't blame others. Take the responsibility that yes, I was wrong, and then move forward. There are, your seniors, your juniors, everybody. There are people who will resolve the issue. And then the third one, last one is a sense of humor. Sense of humor means that, if difficulty has come, usko ek, matlab, soch ke that, let's resolve it nicely. Let's not become very, this thing. Sense of humor means agar kisi ne kuch remark par diya, something anybody said, you take it nicely. All right? So have that sense of humor. So next slide, please. Next. Now, once again, why do we need soft skills? One, we said that we can, improve our professional self. Now, why soft skills? Why are we emphasizing on soft skills? Why don't we just simply remain that, I have the hard skills which we just saw in slide, मैंने degree कर लिया, मैंने certificate कर लिया, वो certificate लेके I'm going for a job, मुझे job मिल जानी चाहिए, I have the necessary qualifications. Now, what is it that, and what are the other things you also had along with that, which would make you a better person, a better business person, and, a better, professional development will be better. Now, what are those? To handle interpersonal relationship, we have already talked about it and we will talk about it. To take appropriate decisions. When you are working, you'll be surprised that you take quick decisions sometime, and nobody to tell you, that ye decision theek nahi hai. Lekin, if you have been able to, if you have sort of, either experience or with this thing, all this, the skills and your thought process will help you to take the, appropriate decisions. If you have gone through the, if you have developed those soft skills, then very importantly, to communicate effectively in service industry, communication is the word. We have to understand it. Okay. Then to have good impression and impact to gain professional development. I think we all know, although we go a little further, that to gain professional development, we have to have a, to make a good impression. People will remember you. I remember that person. See, they will talk about it. That you've already, whenever you go, the first impression, if you are attracted with people, then the impression that you have left with them, काम आया है, काम बहुत अच्छा आता है हमें पूरी तरह सब कुछ आता है, लेकिन एक impression जो आपने उस पे छोड़ा, और वो मतलब which will take you for development, that is one needs soft skills. Next, please. Once again, we are just through this. We are just reading about communication, creativity. Of course, there are one or two more skills which are being added here, which we will go into detail. Communication, creativity, influencing, interpersonal, personal skills, and then professional skills. These are soft skills at a glance. We are going to a few more slides after this. Next one, please. First of all is communication, the key word in the service industry. Next slide, please. What is communication? Communication, what do we understand the word communication? That the person who is a sender is sending a message and the receiver is receiving it. And then the receiver is giving feedback to the sender. So in our case, we are the senders, message receiver is the customer or the passenger, and then however the receiver will get back to you, That is the communication will come to you. It's a full round process. All right. Next slide, please. Now, essential communication skills. Essential communication skills for your career is actually what is the feedback that you are getting from your customer. If you understand that if we are dealing with a customer, you are dealing with a customer, and the person says, okay, I will get back to you, and then he never gets back to you, right? You know, so it is important always to take a feedback from the customer. आपने उसको सारा अपना सब बताया, लेकिन उसने वापस आपको जवाब कुछ भी नहीं दिया, और आपने दोबारा फोन किया कि what happened, तो he yes, you know, whatever, वो बहाने बना. So a good customer feedback, and you know, is always important. Then what else is important for you? Confidence. Confidence is important for you in your career, because only when you speak with confidence, then only the customer is going to listen to you, isn't it? I mean, if you are confident with what you are saying, then natural customer is also very confident. If you are stammering, ha, nahi sir, is that, you know, like that, obviously he is not going to be confident. So you have to give a poise of confidence. This is, now what I'm saying is that all right, suppose if the customer asks you something, you don't know the answer, but immediately without reading, with confidence, you can say, if you know the answer, then give confidently. If you don't know, then with confidence say, sir, I am fully aware of this. I don't know exactly what it is, but I will get back to you definitely with a time frame. Aap usko kahenge. In a time frame, I will get back to you, and then you will honor that time. All right. So this is very essential in your career. It is very important. ये कोई किताब आपको, कोई book, कोई certificate नहीं दिखाएगा. This is where you are developing your soft skills, you know, which are essential. Now, there's also a very important aspect of non-verbal communication. We will come to it. You will understand what I'm saying. Verbal communication is when we are talking to each other. All right. Non-verbal communication is when you're not talking, but with your gestures, with your eyes, we'll come to it. You know, how you convey that non-verbal, you know, this thing. Now, first of all, these 6 things you must keep in your mind. All right, fine. Next is fine. Friendliness, so to say. Now, listening skills. Now, when you listen, आपने वो सुना ही होगा, वो चिड़िया, वो एक चिड़िया थी, फिर वो by the time it reached the 100th person, वो कुछ और ही बन गया, isn't it? ये तो सबने सुना. वो कहते खिचड़ी खानी है तो खिचड़ी खानी. By the end, when it reached the 100th person, वो से खाचड़ी, खिचड़ी को ही खा जाना है. So which means that in order to communicate well, one must first learn how to listen. All right. To hear and to listen are totally two different things. One is that he's talking and you're only hearing. You're not exactly listening to what he's saying. आप सुन रहे हो, वो बोल रहा है. You know, it is possible that मैं बोल रही हूँ, आप सिर्फ सुन रहे हो और समझ नहीं हो. This is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, what you must develop, if your customers told you 10 things, and then you have forgotten what he said. All right? Simply because you are not listening. You are only hearing what he's saying, right? So learn to listen. It is very important to you. You will miss out what customer was saying. So usko suniye aur fir usko absorb kariye. Learn to listen. Next slide. Now, when I said listening, it means accurate hear what customers say. Very important for you. Please, if when he says something, note down what he's saying, because that is going to affect your business in a very big way. All right. Now whatever I have to say that, you know, I am trying to just run through these slides. Otherwise, each of these workshops, these are workshops. What I'm trying to cover in half an hour are actually, 2 days each we have to spend on these. So I'm going to spend a little time because we have limited enough time. All right. But we need a 2-day workshop. All right. Now, what are non-verbal communications? You will be surprised. Verbal communication, when people hear, is only 35%. Non-verbal expressions and communications in any, whenever we talk, when we meet, they are non-verbal is 65%. I am sure you are surprised that what are we talking about. All right, but let me tell you, अब non-verbal का मतलब जो से नहीं बोल रहे, but we are, showing it. Facial expression, tone of voice, movement, appearance, eye contact, gestures. Gestures means हम किस तरह से खड़े हैं, whether we are standing erect, whether we know how we need to stand in front of the customer, your posture, कभी ऐसे ढीले इधर उधर खड़े हो रहे हैं. So these are the, whenever there is communication between two people, then verbal communication का मतलब the part is only 30% and the non-verbal communication is 65%, and these are some of the things which go in non-verbal communications. Next. Can you see these facial expressions of people? I'm sure you see, I'm actually not really talking anything new to you. The only thing is I'm not talking new. But what you people are actually, you may not have paid any attention to it. Now, if you understand the importance of soft skills vis-a-vis the hard skills, you will understand कि ये चीजें कितनी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी हैं to enhance your career, to become what you want to be, which is to the satisfaction of your organization, which is satisfaction of your customer. Now you see, can you see facial expressions of people? You are talking to them, many of them, मतलब expression ही पता लग रहा है. Loud, quiet, hard, soft. You understand? People will react by their faces. All right. So know it and also be careful. What are the kind of expression you are going to use when you are going to a customer? Next slide, please. Now, appearance. Now, the first impression, is the last session. Everybody says that. It is important in professional communication, all right? In professional, it is much, much more important than in a normal day-to-day life. All right, appearance. It is important in professional communication. Effectiveness of presentation meetings depends on its clothes, hairstyles, and other factors play a role in appearance. Researchers have found that appearances suggest earning, interest, event, mood, etc. Human beings. All right. Now here we are talking business, isn't it? So as you can see that all these people, I mean, most of them except for one is a little casual. But it doesn't, he is not part, maybe he is a part of where, they specify, जब आप meeting पे जाते हो, या किसी, party पे जाते हो, या किसी airline के event पे जाते हो, so they say, come in smart casuals, all right? Now you can't go to a business meeting, wearing jeans and, wearing like that. So anybody who comes to me, like even as an entrepreneur, or you enter any office, there is a certain protocol which we have to follow. We have to follow and we have to take care of our appearance. We have to show that, we are serious about our working, and, so it is very important. So please remember this also. No textbook or no degree is going to do this. These are soft skills we have to learn when we are talking to each other now. Next, please. All right. Now, what is very important? I am giving you my personal example. I has habit, when I joined travel industry. Now, can you see eye contact is so important? Why eye contact important? Because the person can see or feel, the eyes speak more many times than what your mouth is speaking. So an eye contact when you're talking to the customer is very important. I must share, when I joined, and I used to have this habit. I didn't know about it. Why I'm sharing this with you is because it is my personal experience. I used once or twice I'm seeing with very important. He was the top director of a bank, and then he sort of kind of looked at his shirt, on one side, and then he brushed it. Then he looked the second time, third time, he told me, "Is there anything here on my shirt? You look this side." I felt so foolish, I can't tell you, because what happens is that because it was an eye contact, the other person becomes uncomfortable, that, you are not talking straight to the person. So, jab bhi aap see customer say business, and here we are basically only talking work and business ethics. So, please have a direct eye to eye contact. All right, that is very important when you have a meeting. All right, now there are other, I want to tell you, these are some of the gestures whenever you talk to a customer. It depends on what is the kind of situation you are. If you're the customer, then you have to portray, aapko dikhana hai that I'm confident कि जो भी मैंने किया या भी है वो सब ठीक है. Confidence ही तो customer आपके ऊपर confidence होगा. Then you also don't have to, if you are tense that the taxi has not even started yet from the airport, so you can't show your anxiety to the customer. So be relaxed. All right, relax and make the customer feel relaxed. All right, then these are some gestures which you tell the person trustworthy hai. Then your strength, what you have to show is that person has to believe that you have all these qualities in you when you are going into a business situation. Next. All right, now today this thing has become very, very important, public speaking. Now, public speaking, as like I'm speaking to you, even the sense that I don't know whether there are 10 people, 20 people, or whatever the number of people who have joined, it doesn't matter. There may be 5, there may be 20, tomorrow there may be 100, or tomorrow there may be 1,000. Now, you see, we go for, public speaking like this, which definitely be a part of your, at any time you come across that. You are going to come across. So what is exactly जब सबके सामने बोलना है? अगर आप tour leader, if you are going as a tour leader, or if you are going in some mass group, or if you are going, accompany somebody, and there's a group of 200 people, you have to address them for whatever it is. So you have to address them. So be confident about, public speaking. And that also, like I told you, a public speaking in itself is a 1-week program. I can't, press it that much. But what I'm trying to say is that always give the audience information and, that they can take home. वो आपको याद है. All right. Don't be afraid of answering questions. Never do anything to disengage. You see, they say, focus on earning attention. जब आप बोलते हैं, when you speak, then it is not job of the people listen to you. वो कहते हैं ना, half the people are sleeping, half are yawning, कोई सुन नहीं रहा, और फिर जब आप कहोगे कि जी okay, lunch is served at 2:30 and nobody comes, So उसमें क्या कहते हैं? Audience is not sleeping. Who has to be woken up? The speaker has to be woken up. You have to develop these skills of speaking in public. I'm sorry I can't teach you in these next 2-3 minutes. It's a full 3 to 4 program. We'll go through it. All right. Now, these are some of the things. Creativity. Why is creativity important in your travel and tourism sector or any other wherever you go? Creativity means that supposing You know, these are ideas, these are original ideas, thinking, mind, finding a solution. Iska next slide, please. What exactly do we mean? Now, innovation, let's say that, you have to, create a design. आपको किसी को कहना है कि all right, sir, we are selling Male, or selling, this other new station. We are selling Maharashtra, since, we are now in the Maharashtra the field just now. So, ideas क्या हैं? उसके पीछे क्रिएटिविटी क्या है? आप उसकी किस तरह टूर बनाओगे? किस तरह का आप मतलब एक slide बनाओगे? How will you in your idea have this kind of a creativity or have those ideas? Those should be innovation enough to attract people. Okay, yes, this is a lovely place and I will go there. Now these creativity skills, innovations is a part of skills. Nobody is going to teach. All right. Now let's come to in another creativity skill is decision making, which we've already touched about it. After you have studied everything, searched everything, it is a process of selecting a logic choice from available ideas or options. Now, once you have all the ideas, then it is best for you to select a logical choice. Okay, this is a decision I am making, or jointly as a team we are making. Yeah, decision making is also very important in creativity. Next. All right. Now, see these two people, the two snails, and not people, they are snails, but they are talking to each other. दीवार पे चढ़ के एक साइड से दूसरी साइड पे वो क्या एक दूसरे को बोल रहे हैं? वो ये बता रहे हैं, वो उसको इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है that listen, I went to the Ellora caves to see. They are so beautiful, and I use this travel agent, and the roads are very good, and you आप इस तरह से जाना वैसे जाना, influence कर रहा है. Have you understood? He is in a way talking to him, and he is influencing the other person that, this is exactly what happens to you. All right, this is what happens. All right, so you should develop these. How to, next slide, please. In influencing skills, you people in our business, it is the customer, it is the customer which influences people. How in soft skills do you influence people? उनको आप facilitate कीजिए, उनको आप 10 चीज दिखाइए कि ये भी आप यहाँ जा सकते हैं, यहाँ जा सकते हैं. In a way, you are influencing the person, his mind, that if you do this, in a way you are helping to make up his mind by facilitating him and therefore influencing. कि सर आप इधर अगर आपको नहीं ठीक लग रहा तो आप इधर जाइए, उधर जाइए. यू अंडरस्टैंड, जा सकते हैं. आपके माइंड में क्या हम समझ रहे हैं, आप इधर चले जाए. सो दीज आर इन्फ्लुएंसिंग स्किल्स. नाउ जस्ट कनेक्ट इट विद योरसेल्फ एंड योर जॉब. how important it is for you, how important it is for your organization. You have to influence people to, according to you, but for that you have to do a lot of research. All right, and present. Next, what is most important? Ab selling skills kahan se aate hain? Like they always say that person who speaks well or speaks sweetly can sell cheese, but a person who has a harsh or a the other voice cannot even sell sweets. It's a very simple thing. Now, how do you selling skills? Please give me. Everybody doesn't have it. Nahi to everybody would be very, very good at everything. हमें क्या बेचना है? We are in different organizations and we are trying to sell our product. How do you influence the customer that your product is the best? All right. So there's also a nice long other chapter, but I will just touch upon two. The last one, last slide. Previous one, yeah. No, the previous one. No, yeah. Now, know the aspects. आपको अपना कमर पता होना चाहिए. अब वो कह रहा है मेरे को मतलब this is money, this is the amount I have got, your like that. So You have to know what your customer wants. Selling skill according, if you give him on a platter, that is your selling skill which comes into it. No book can teach you. Sorry, you have to develop it yourself. And this development comes after you have already learned all the soft skills that we are talking about. All right. Then you have to sell the products, benefits, and all that, which is, definitely there. The next, please. Now, it is not necessary. It is not necessary that, whatever you are trying to tell the customer, that, उस आपने कहा जी सर हम ये ऑफर करते हैं, कस्टमर ने आपसे ये कहा नहीं नहीं भैया ये भी कर दो ना, ये भी मतलब भी कर लो, हमें ये भी करना है, हमें भी करना है, and the, so how do you politely learn with positive words? Like I told you, I'm only touching a sentence. These are long programs, which will 3 days, 4 days, how to go through with examples, that we are not talking about. But saying no lightly with polite, positive words, and then ultimately, this is an influencing skill. How do you then ultimately, you have to negotiate with the person. ये नहीं आप कह सकते कहीं गए आपने अपनी सारा कुछ बोला उसके बाद it's a win-win situation. You have to come back with a win-win situation. How do you come with that? That's a part of your influencing skills. All right. Now, interpersonal skills. We come to interpersonal skills. This is also very important. Next slide, please. Interpersonal means one to the other. Now, how do we improve our interpersonal skills? One of the methods which I had told you earlier, if you networking, meet people, come out of shyness, try to meet people. आपने देखा जब भी कभी मीटिंग्स पे जाते हैं या कोई एयरलाइन गेट टुगेदर है, होटल गेट टुगेदर है, एसोसिएशन गेट टुगेदर है, there are, you see, tendency of people to stay behind. What is the point? आपको आगे जाके अपनी मतलब you have to do networking. Networking का मतलब is not necessary. It is a way of growing, your network. It's not necessary that this person is definitely going to give business, but he may in some way, if he remembers you, and he remembers you, like I said, with all your personality or the way you talk, or the way he may remember you, he will keep your card. And then after you have told him that I used to do this, I do this, sometime or the other, he may remember you. He will remember, oh yeah, remember that person. So networking ultimately, it improves your chances of employment, increases your contacts, and improves your business. Remember this. Okay. Approach customers to build friendly in such kind of networking meetings. Approach customers to build friendly relationship rather than just a business contact. Ek dafa business nahi mila, doesn't matter. The next time he will remember you, depending on how you presented yourself to him, how he remembers you. All right. So networking ke upar to maine ek chapter ka ek kitab mein. If you like, you can write to me. I will send you that chapter. I have written a chapter in a book, on networking. I can share it with everybody. Next, please. Now, conflict resolution. Customers don't like how they have been treated. Is this matlab, can you know what we're talking about? I think each one of us knows what we are talking about. The customer is not treated well by somebody, person. I, even as a, person who is in the organization, I have so many complaint calls from my own, customer. They will say, I called up and he hasn't taken my call, and I asked him and he promised me मैं कल जवाब दूंगा, वो नहीं करता, something. Now what is happening? This is, the customers are happy. So how will you, talk to the customer is a soft skill which you have to develop. All right. Okay. How to make the customer happy. All right. Now, these are long subjects, but now I can, sort of in a way, you are responsible in interpersonal skills to, get over conflict resolution. How will you do some of the ways? Yeah. Now handle, okay. So can we just go 1 minute to the last slide, please? Keep self-control, apologize, not argue, and offer solutions, right? I can, in our industry, service industry, travel, tourism industry, do you know that there is one slogan? Customer is always right. Okay? Keep control, apologize, don't argue, and offer solutions. Next. Yeah. Handling difficult customers. थोड़ा सा बता देती हूँ, वैसे ये बहुत लंबा है. You know, you can, like I told you, empathy. Empathy, अगर आपको याद है शुरू में हमने कहा, feel as the customer is feeling. Try to be in his shoes. All right? Then how will you, थोड़े से ये phrases. I'm sorry to hear that. I understand how you feel, sir. I would feel the same way. Don't take it personal. Never argue back. Kill them with your kindness. Know how to apologize. Solve problem and not overcompensate. Relieve. We understand there is one word over here. Not overcompensate. जैसे आप उसको ये कहो, सर ये नहीं हुआ तो मैं अब कंपनी को जाके बोलूं, वो आपको 2 लाख का चेक बना देते हैं. Don't do all that. There's a way of learning or speaking. Those are your soft skill qualities that cannot, you know, you're saying sorry with all these kind of things, but you are not overcompensating him. जितना कर सकते हो करिए, but over भी नहीं ताकि सबको नुकसान होंगे. Your company is not going to enjoy that. They are not going to like it. They'll be in a loss. If you are running a company and your people do this, then you are at a loss. Slide. Now, interpersonal relationship is inside your office. Now, do you know how important it is? Your ability to get along with others in your office, or you know, with that when you have to get a job done. Do you understand? It is important because it is complete teamwork, and you know you should develop that ability. You know, you should know with all these things, you have to develop that ability कि सबके साथ में मुझे काम कैसे करना है. It's a part of your own development. Because agar aapne, I'm again telling you out of my experience of 30 years, when I was working with a very large travel company, and there, I mean, it was so important. If your customer has asked you to get me a visa urgently, या मेरा पासपोर्ट कल को बनवा दो, जल्दी बनाइए. अगर जो पर्सन वीजा करता है, या जो पर्सन उसकी टिकट बना रहा, या जो पर्सन पासपोर्ट ऑफिस जाएगा, अगर आपके उनके साथ इंटरपर्सनल स्किल्स ठीक नहीं है, तो you will not be able to accomplish your job. You know, the person will say, oh मैडम मैं तो भूल ही गया, मैं तो वो पासपोर्ट ही छोड़ आया, something like that. So please, interpersonal skills are very, very important to get your work done. Next slide, please. All right. Now we talked about interpersonal skills. We talked about many various things. Now let's come to, because we are, you know, basically going to talk about how to develop our own skills, our skills, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, not the as against hard skills. How अपना personally हमें मतलब कैसे ये करना है. All right. Next slide, please. Now, let's say again, these are a lot of things, but I will just taken two. Now, one is, you know, stress management. Stress caused by high workload demand, low amount of control work. You don't have control. आपने मतलब, you know, you decided जी कल तो मैं ये कर ही लूँगा, मैं उसका passport बनवा दूँगा, you know, something like that. And the person doesn't come to the office the next day. So आपको तो बहुत ज़्यादा stress हो गया ना. So एक stress management करनी होती है, you know, which is very important. Now there are many other factors: dissatisfied customers, you know, lack of cooperation from your colleagues, Friends, what I'm going to take you in practical situations कि ये इस तरह होती हैं. आपने अभी जो हमें simple example, if you don't mean Dr. Vedik, you know, Mr. Vedik, just now, like it, you know, these are stress. If you know your Wi-Fi is working for reasons, you know, which like you know, in the sense it's not working, so it's a stressful situation for you, no? All of us are in that, you know, get into that all the time. मैंने उसे phone करना, phone की line ही down है, अब 3 से ये हो रहा है. So there is, you know, a lot of stress in our life, you know, in terms of working and particularly in terms of, you know, service industry and in travel and tourism. We get into this kind of a situation all the time. All right. Now, of course, I've taken this last thing, use techniques for coping with stress, deep breathing, maintaining diet, exercising. You know, there are other ways also nowadays. They say that if, you know, you are under extreme stress, then take a few deep breaths or something. But there, you know, बहुत सारे gaps हैं जो मैं इधर cover नहीं कर सकती, but I can do later. Next, please. All right. Adaptability. Be flexible. Expect change. Change is going to happen. You know, change is going to happen in our industry. Look at the biggest challenge of change that we are at the moment experiencing, you know, with this pandemic with us, you know, so that always we have to have be flexible. ये नहीं हुआ सर वो नहीं आई, यहाँ होता है हमारे में कि ये नहीं है तो sir I'll book with the other one which is as good as this one, I promise you. So always have, you know, plan A and plan B with yourself. Think about it. Next slide, please. We are talking here personal skills. Next slide. Next slide, Parul. Yeah. Now, in this entire process that we have talked about, you know, we have talked about how to please the customer. We have talked about, you know, कि उसकी खुशी हमें कैसे दी है. लेकिन, you know, personally भी जब हम काम कर रहे हैं, we may not like the work that we are doing. All right. You know, so you can do a self-assessment of yourself. Evaluation. Am I an outstanding person or excellent or very good or average or below average? Don't be afraid to assess yourself. उसमें कई चीजें ऐसी हैं कि आप वहां तक क्यों नहीं पहुंच रहे, किस लिए नहीं पहुंच रहे आप आउटस्टैंडिंग में, आप एक्सीलेंट में क्यों नहीं पहुंच रहे. There could be reasons, you know, which are your personal motive to drive self-evaluation. Why do I like, you know, what do I like about my current role? What are the challenges of my role? What occupational field do I feel most drawn towards? What work environment do I most enjoy? You understand? You know, so if you do your own self-evaluation, maybe if you're not enjoying what you know, think that you could do better, कि भाई आप खुद मतलब वो अपनी इवैल्यूएशन करिए कि भाई व्हाई एम आई नॉट परफॉर्मिंग एज गुड द अदर पर्सन. अपनी इवैल्यूएशन से आपको मालूम चलेगा कि मेरे को क्यों ऐसा लगता है. अभी मैंने सिर्फ ये 4 पॉइंट्स लिए, पर और भी बहुत से पॉइंट्स हैं. एंड देन व्हाट डू वी हैव टू डू. हमने हैव टू इम्प्रूव आवर ओन सेल्फ, isn't it? So we improve ourselves, then we will reach the outstanding. So before others evaluate you, do a personal, you know, this thing. After all, you are a person, you are important for yourself. मैं कैसे वहां पहुंचूंगा. Next slide, please. Now, like I told you earlier also, take criticism. Take it seriously, but not personally. Nobody just wants to personally keep on shooting you at you. उसको आपके साथ एज एन एम्प्लॉई काम है, आपका काम ठीक है तो वो आपको शाबाश करेंगे, और अगर वो मतलब आपका काम ठीक नहीं है तो वो आपको आपके काम के बोल रहे हैं ना. ही इज नॉट सॉर्ट ऑफ पर्सनली उनको में उनका अपना है सब, आपको सिर्फ कह रहे हैं कि इसलिए आप काम नहीं थे. एंड आई हैव नोट्स टुडे, you know, everybody just reacts immediately. आपने अभी कहा नहीं, आपने कहा नहीं कि भाई ये हो रहा है, और immediately the person will pounce at you कि ऐसा नहीं था, अरे पर्सनली मुझे तुम्हारे साथ कहना है यार, आई हैव माई ओन फैमिली, यू हैव योर ओन फैमिली, मुझे तुम्हारी अकल पसंद नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं है, अगर तुम्हारा काम है, आई एम फाइन. So please don't criticism personally. It will just unnecessarily affect you and your work further. All right. Again, I has okay. Take responsibility for what went wrong to get better. Next, quickly. Enthusiasm, showing interest in your work. Please show enthusiastically कि मेरे को काम करना है. आके पे टेस्ट के ऊपर don't sleep. All right. Show enthusiasm. Everybody, enthusiasm is infectious. You understand? Everybody become enthusiastic. Next slide. Grooming. I have to now quickly hurry up now because I believe there is a time shortage. Now grooming, we already talked about it. You must be comfortable with your clothes, which is very important. आपका ध्यान नहीं जाना चाहिए. Your image and look is very good. We have short of time, so we have to quickly move. Next. Grooming is very important, please. Now, there is a slide seems to be, acha, you have to, okay. Now I just want to, professional development, business etiquette and ethics, decent, all right. Now, there are a few topics I just have to leave. Maybe the next time I have some more time to be with you and I talk about that, all right. Now, this is a perfect time for everyone, for all of us to understand that only booking knowledge is not going to help us in our development. It is a personal, many unseen things, which we have to focus on, develop them, and become a better person, a better working person, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you want to do your work, tomorrow you want to start, or you are in any work situation. Please, their importance of these kind of skills with experience to be shared with everybody. I think this is very important. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. And as you know, already introduced, and this is an academy which I run. We are doing diploma certificate skilling courses. I also do personal, workshops, and anybody who's interested definitely can contact me or through Parul or through, Travel Heals. So thank you so much, giving me so much time, Mr. Venkat, and everybody who listened to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kumar. It was such a wonderful session to hear, and I'm sure our participants would have kind of gathered many of the important life skill techniques that you have shared today. And in fact, I was very much uh, kind of keen when you said that change is a reality of life. In fact, change is inevitable, and you brought this fact very nicely during the times when everybody is looking at what is happening. In fact, from my personal experience, I can say that when we think about it, no 2 seconds can ever be exactly the same. Something is different somewhere in the world, so we need to know how to change and what we cannot change. And when we accept and embrace change, we become flexible, adaptable, and unafraid of change. So thank you so much for bringing many of the skills that are required through your vast experiences, and also kind of encouraging the participants to try something new, and which will support the personal development and unlock the power and energy that comes from kind of getting out of our comfort zones. Um, I I also take this opportunity to thank Parul. Parul has been kind of a media partner and supporting us technically. And thank you, Parul, for all this uh, kind of support that you have been giving to Ministry of Tourism for our webinars. And to all our participants, thank you so much for joining in. And it was great to listen to Dr. Kumar, who is one of the veterans and has a vast experience in travel industry. And in fact, she's one of the well-known names in our industry. And thank you once again, ma'am. And with this, I would like to kind of end the session. And we will be in touch, and we'll come back again with some more interesting topics as we move forward, because this is a continuing affair for us now, to be in touch with the student communities and the industry to give them the best that we can offer.
Yes, very
Thank you.
important. It'll be my pleasure.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming in. Thank.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. You can see that it comes with a lot of emotion and feeling, because with the industry I've been attached for a long time. Yeah.
Thank you, so. I'm ending the session, so.
Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you.